The continuing constriction of Nigeria's economy and their diminishing purchasing power have become veritable sources of pressure on the health of individuals and the nation as a whole. The ability to handle this level of stress has also been subsiding. So where lays the solution? We are now being joined by Oludayo Adeniyi, a life coach, for a quick chat on this. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so practical survival tips, what practical survival tips would you give the average Nigerian, on how to cope with the harsh economic realities?
Okay, thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to say to every Nigerian listening out there that we've got this, we're going to come out of this. It's good that we just build that faith first, because that's what's going to help us go through the difficulties, that we're presently going through. But I'll just share some tips. Number one, I will say, let's stop complaining. One of the things that happens to us, it's a default. When things happen, the first thing that comes to your mind is you just want to complain, talk about the situation. But what this does is that it actually blocks the mind from seeing opportunities. It actually, brings about negative emotions. When you keep complaining, you are not being solution-minded. So I know it's not easy, but first, we just need to stop complaining, so that we can, reduce the negativity that is around already. So when you are able to, stop that, and you can, be in the right form of mind, what happens is that it enables you to think properly. So the second, tip I will give is the way it is right now, whatever it is you're earning, try as much as possible to become more creative with your spending. How can you, reduce your spendings? How can you cut off wastages? Because if you truly look at it, based on my experience working with professionals and business owners, we have a lot of wastages that we're not taking account of. Some people will tell you, I really don't have money. But if you collect your bank statement from January till date, you'll be shocked at how much has actually flowed through your account. So try as much as possible to be creative. How can I do what I'm doing now in a better way? Or what are the wastages that I can do away with that can help me have some loose funds that you can now use, which is now step 3, to seek ways to actually create multiple streams of income. We've been saying it, one source of income is a no-no. With all that is happening, I know, we all know, even if you don't believe this concept, you all know right now. And there's a part of the only books that I like so much, Ecclesiastes, says, invest in foreign trades, because one day you say you'll make profits. Put your investment in several places because of bad luck. You could experience any bad luck. If that is in the Holy Book, that means there's preparation. It means that in life, there's no straight line. Sometimes things will go south. Sometimes things will go well, But no matter what happens, be prepared. So look for opportunities to create multiple streams of income. If you need to get 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs, I don't know how you want to do that, but we have some free time. What can you do? Do you need to learn a new skill? Do you need to, do something that can help you bring more money in at this time? Those are things we need to be thinking about right now. And then the fourth one, I will talk about has to do with personal development. You see, you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. So what you need to do, give yourself to learning, developing yourself, so that you can begin to see things differently. And this is why, if you look at the economy, the world globally, we're in the knowledge space. That's why you have coaches coming up where you do programs. For example, I do programs, free webinars, paid webinars for professionals, for entrepreneurs, to be able to help them, unlock the abundance that is in them so that they can achieve their definition of success. The truth about it is that the way we have been created, we are so powerful. We have everything in us and around us to be able to create that life that we desire. I know if the environment is more conducive, it will be a lot better. But if the environment isn't, and we don't have control over that, I believe we have control over our own lives. So we can decide, this is what I want to do. That is where it all starts from, where you're growing, learning new things to be able to help you become a better person. And that is why people like us come in, where we've been able, to structure, events, webinars, programs that we do, whether offline or virtually, and, that people can connect with. Even as little as Instagram it is, there's so much learnings going on there right now that you can empower yourself. So don't give yourself to negativities. Give yourself to positive information that will encourage you to be able to take the right, action in the right steps in the right, direction.
Very good, Oludayo. But from a general perspective, Nigerians over time have bore the brunt of harsh economic, policies. Yet our ability to endure has always been tested. So, are we at a breaking point right now? I know, we're going through a transition period, a carryover from, other, baggage, and we're right now trying to sort that out. But do you see a silver lining here?
Well, you see, the same question someone asked me yesterday. Like, are you sure this isn't going to break us as a people? Yeah. But I saw some research online that nations, do better, like 85% better during tough times. And then bringing it back to individuals, that individuals perform over 70% better when they are faced with difficult situations. Yeah. They begin to think about things that are more important, like COVID. When COVID came, we all sat down, we started thinking, so I didn't have time for my family. So you mean I've just been working and working? So it's a call to look inwards and begin to, find out those things that mean more to us, connect with deeper things. So I don't think it's going to be a breaking point for us. It's just going to be a point that will make us better as a person or as a people and also as a nation. And that's why it's good for us to look at the positive side, of things and say, okay, what is in this for me? What am I supposed to be learning here? How can I become better here? So those are the things that, we need to begin to face, because tough times, we say, never last, but tough people do. So we keep building that resilience because the world also is evolving. So we also have to keep evolving. Yeah. We can't use the old version of us. In this new dispensation that we are in, there's a lot of changes happening. So it will look as if it's tough because the times too are changing. So I don't think it's going to be like a breaking point. But I think that the end of it is going to be something, that will help every one of us see that, wow, so it was definitely worth it. That's why we need to keep the faith and, just hold on.
No, very well said, but I'm sure some people that are watching would say that it's easier said than done. I'm sure you've heard all the, see them, they continue to aspire to perspire people. There are some people that would think this is what this is all about. Just give us a motivational pep talk that is not actually very achievable or realistic. But I would like to probe a bit on the be creative with your spending. Probably that will work, for some people, but for the poorest of the poor, who hardly have enough, who cannot even get 3 square meals a day, how can they be creative with their spending?
We are all, how do I say it? We are all the creators of our reality. Number one thing is this: wherever we are today, it is decisions that we have made that has brought us to this point.
Or that were made on our behalf?
Well, it's 2 ways. Do you understand? It's 2 ways. You see, in this same economy that we're talking about, as we're speaking right now, some people are buying new cars. As we're speaking right now, some people are on their way for vacation. As we're speaking right now, some people are building houses and buying. You could ask, oh, they were born with silver spoons. But the truth is that not everybody was actually born with that. A lot of people had to fight their way through life because they decided, I don't want to settle for this. I was at a program recently and a lady was asked, why is it that you can't settle with a man that is not financially okay, but you could live with your father? And she made a statement. She said, my father I can deal with because I didn't have a choice. But my marriage, I can decide what I want for myself, not just for the man alone, to create the life that I want. And everybody clapped for her. So you may not have control over some things, but you have control over your life and where it is today. So what I would say to everyone is this: no matter where you are, first evaluate where you are. How did you get to this point? How do you get out? It may be tougher for some people to get out of, because if you are not making any income right now, money is a function of value. So you need to begin to ask yourself, what can I do? Can I sell? Can I, in our economy, the way it is, if you see somebody running an Uber, you look at the person like, this guy, there's something, is not okay. But abroad, when we go on vacations, we see doctors, we see them do Uber, and they make extra income. It's a thing of pride. Even when they're talking about it, you feel the pride. But over here, sometimes we have some ego that is not allowing us to take charge of our life and fully create the life that you want to live. When I coach people, I say to them, I run coaching programs for professionals. I have, specialized one I call magnetize. So when I call it that way, you can attract the abundance that you want. But it starts from you as a person. You can't control the external. We know that, but you can control yourself. But the moment you can take that control, what happens for you is that you begin to see that things begin to align. Some people jackpot, right? Because they felt they couldn't
But
stay here.
sometimes the reality is over there.
At least they decided that's where they want to go. It was a choice. Some people say it's because they can afford it. I'm just trying to make a point that we all are responsible. Not that I'm supporting whether jackpot or not jackpot, but I'm saying people are going out of their way to create a life for themselves. Some people are deciding to stay, to say, I'm going to do something. And my call to everyone there outside here is that no matter how tough things are, you need to be responsible for your life. You need to be responsible for your outcomes. The moment you can take the role as the architect of your own life, even when you don't have answers, you discover that things will begin to fall in place for you. And that's why you need to, embrace learning. Get a coach. Watch webinars. We all do that. I do that from time to time. I'm doing webinars, programs to help people.
Very good.
So people can actually take charge and create the life that they want.
Indeed, wise words. Oludayo Adeniyi, author, global speaker, transformational coach. All of the above. I'd like to thank you for coming to Newsday. It's good to have you with us.
Nice having you here.
All
Nice
right.
having me.
Nice being there. Nice being here.